Welcome to the DJNTV Chill Room Chat, your space to unwind and talk shop. This episode is sponsored by MadeByDJs.com, innovative tools designed specifically by DJs for DJs. DJEventPlanner.com, the industry standard for streamlining your business and booking faster. And DJRequests.com, the easiest way to manage your dance floor's vibe in real time. Support the show by using our Amazon affiliate link at DJNTV.com/Amazon. Now, let's get into the mix.
Go.
Hey guys, welcome to Hanging Out on Monday nights. We've got John Cawley in the Boston area.
Hey.
We've got Eric, and I'm not allowed to say his last name for witness protection
You don't need to.
purposes. In the Boston area as well. Yeah. We've got Kevin in the middle of Ohio, sort of. Kind of in me, I'm Brian. I'm here in Milwaukee. We're going to talk general tips for DJs tonight, things that we do now that we've found are much easier than the way we used to do things. Things that maybe you can use or think about when it comes time to maybe upgrade or just maybe change a little something. How can you make your life easier as a DJ? And anybody who wants to go on this, go right ahead, and we'll just wants to go first. Kevin wants to go first.
Kevin does? Okay.
I will go first because I'm old and I'm senile and I might forget what I've been going to say.
Lean in a little bit on that, Kevin, if you could.
Oh, okay. My tips are tied to vehicle and getting your gear there. I have several different vehicles. One of them is an SUV, or it would work for a minivan or a box truck or anything that you need to make things fit. What I do sometimes, if I get some new gear or whatever, I make sure I got everything in there. I take a picture of it with my phone so that when I go to reload it at the end of the night, that I know if I put it in the same way as that was when I went there, it should be able to fit going back home. Another thing I do that helps out at the end of the night is because most of the events are after dark. I do have one of those little headlight things that you put on your head. It's an elastic band.
Sure.
And that helps me in some of the barn venues, which don't have good lighting out there in the parking lot. Helps me be able to get all my gear and make sure I didn't leave anything behind and be able to easily put it in.
Yeah. Lights, any kind of flashlight or anything like that is a good idea to have. I don't carry one, but the good news is there's one on everybody's phone now. So if you forget your light and you just don't know what to do, well, if I could manage it here.
Mine's actually a shake and it'll come on.
Yeah,
my
son-in-law does that, but flashlight.
There, find that button in the dark.
Look, I'm a DJ with a gig bar. What do you think?
Yeah.
Check out my new lighting tree. Oh,
the other thing I do is in the minivan or SUV, I have one of these little LED lanterns and I have it just hooked on where you hang your clothes. So that's extra light that I have in there, and I just turn it on when I'm in.
You carry that in your vehicle?
Yeah, it just hangs from the hook. Just leave it on there. It's just a little. It's a little thing about this big. I bought it at Menards. You put like 2 AA batteries in there, and it's LED, and it's got a high and low, and I just leave it hanging in there.
How fast does that cold kill those AA's though?
I'm not doing right now too many winter events, so
hopefully you load it out before that becomes an issue.
But I have that headlight that I always keep it charged up.
Sure.
So.
Just curious. That's
and the other thing is on your way there, if you haven't charged it up, charge it up with your adapter that you got in the cigarette lighter, and so that way by the time you get there, it's fully charged.
Loading a vehicle's like Tetris. I mean,
it really is.
A lot of times.
Yeah.
And it's not just putting things in the vehicle, it's weight distribution and load shift.
Yeah.
Because if you put all your weight in the back of your vehicle behind your rear axle, if you're driving in inclement conditions, wet or slick conditions, your ass end, for lack of a better term, could go out of control on you pretty easily. So you want to put your heavy stuff.
Compromising your steering too. Yeah.
I've experienced that. One of my past jobs, I hauled scrap scrap metal.
Mm.
And one of the places, it was one of those roll-off boxes, and I got it up on the truck, and I had a lot of back end weight. I don't know what was back there, but it was a 3-axle back end, and I was literally hopping down the road, I
Yeah.
think levitating on the front. So I probably shouldn't have picked it up, but I figure if it picked up on the truck and it got up there, then it's going home.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you got to be careful.
Nice.
Just
Yeah,
also
in the way back, that's where the refrigerators and the stoves and all the heavy stuff is. That's why you're doing wheelies going down the highway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, here I'm driving my Suburban for the winter. It's my winter truck. And I don't want to unload all of my gear because I do work, and bringing it up and downstairs is kind of a drag for me. So I try to cut corners where I can. I've been leaving my rock and roller cart in the back of the truck, and it was driving me nuts today because it kept rolling back and forth and making noises. So I had to
Yeah.
go back there and lock the wheels. But yeah, load shift is a thing. I mean, you can't just put things in your vehicle however you want. You got to consider how they're going to travel. You know, are things going to bang together and drive you crazy? Because they will me. I have to hear metal clacking my pro vent table. Oh my gosh, I got to get that in there right, or it's going to drive me nuts. Same with the rock and roller cart.
If the back of your truck is watertight now, I would recommend getting a small area rug that's fabric with a rubber side bottom that you can put in there so
Right.
things don't
So
go
that it
clank,
won't
clank, clank,
slide.
and things don't
Yeah.
slide around as much. Because when I had my Tacoma, it had just a plastic bed liner
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and stuff would be shifting all the time. I'd have to bungee stuff to the
Yeah.
corners. But if you can get a small area rug, like a 4-foot by 6-foot back there that just lays down, I mean, you could just always roll it up and take it out when you don't need it. But if there's gear
Sure.
in there, especially metal on the bed of the tailgate,
Yeah.
you won't get stuff drifting on you as much.
Right. I've had the rubberized bed liners before in vehicles, and they're cool, but the problem that I have with them now is that I really rely on the gear sliding when I'm loading in and out.
Well, that was the thing. To get the stuff in and out of the pickup, I had I don't know, about a 3-foot wooden rod that had 3 metal prongs like a garden rake.
Push!
I could reach in and grab the handle of the
Yeah.
speaker and drag it back down towards me. But yeah, for stuff, if you just got things that are going to stay like the cart, because carts are just clanky and annoying. Same
They
with
are.
drape plates and everything else. They just clang and bang all over the place. So I'd want to add something that you should always have. If it kind of ties in with a little bit of what Kevin said, but just have the what if I need it bag, and it's going to have all the stuff in there like batteries for your wireless mic, a few packs of AA, a few rolls of gaff tape, some bungee
Right.
cords, those things that if you didn't think of grabbing it because you're in a rush running out the door, or if you have a supply of that with you all the time, some Sharpies, a notebook to write stuff down. Just keep that in a little bag tucked to the side, and you never have to worry if you've got it with you. Like one IEC, 150-foot XLR, just in case stuff, so you don't have to double back and go all the way home if you don't have a backup of some of your.
Just leave it in the vehicle. You have to bring it in with you.
It's just always going to be there. You can always count on it. At least one 6-way extension cord, because or outlet strip. Things like that, just to save you from having to remember to pack it all the time. You just know it's always going to be there, and you
Right.
can focus on the important stuff, like how long of XLR runs do I need, and do I have all my laptops and things that are important, because that's the stuff that you're generally loading day out.
Right.
But just to have that little bit extra, it's like, oh, they want to move that speaker 20 more feet further than cord I have. Now you just let me run back to the truck and click,
Right.
and do things like that, just so that you're not stressed out about it. Or, you find out sometimes, they want to stick a speaker out on the patio or something. And it's like, well, we weren't originally going to do that. But, if you have the tools with you, you can just adjust on the fly, which is
Sure.
nice.
I've heard all kinds of crazy things that you're supposed to put in gig bags. I remember somebody, and I think it was one of the old Mobile Beat magazines, was suggesting that everyone should bring a sewing kit with them. Just all this stuff.
I've heard
Wow.
that, but I can't sew, so it's not going to do me.
Right. I can't sew either.
Right.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. I can't even thread that needle. Yeah.
The one thing that I don't carry in any of my vehicles or any of my gig bags that I should start carrying, but I just don't. Band-Aids.
Mhm.
Because if you happen to cut yourself and you don't want to get blood all over your clothes or all over anything, or somebody else has a problem, Be good to have a couple band-aids in there, some good ones.
Well, most venues have a first aid kit, and I would run to the kitchen for a Band-Aid
So if
if
you're
I
doing a gig in
needed
the
it, right?
park, for
Yeah.
instance, at a
Yeah.
pavilion, you would go to the kitchen
Okay, that's
there and
different. Well, that's
well, that's what
different.
I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bring this up because we did
Mm.
a party for a graduation. It was a family party for a graduation at a park pavilion,
Mhm.
and my grandson accidentally cut his finger. And everybody looked at me, oh, grandpa will have band-aids because grandpa carries everything in his truck.
Oh.
Nope.
Not
That's
that
the one
day.
thing I missed. So I've been thinking about
You
that ever since.
failed him.
Sorry,
I
kid.
failed him. I failed everyone. Well,
No.
That is
Rub some
something you
dirt
could,
on it. Yeah.
that is something you actually might be able, depending on what size you want to get, you might be actually able to put that in your wallet. You know, when you're younger, you might have had something different in your wallet, but now that
mm,
you're older,
We're
you're more
like
not
money.
going
comfortable.
Money. I
there.
had
Yeah.
money in my wallet when I was younger.
Oh yeah, that's that
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
But you
Yeah.
know, you might be able to stick a band-aid because I keep some
Blockbuster card. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. That's tough.
I keep some of that what is it? The anti-diarrheal stuff. I keep some of those little pills. I keep them
I
in my
do
wallet.
well with that in my computer bag. It's the antacids and the
Yeah,
aspirin.
that's stuff. You got to have mints. You got to have,
Yeah, because I
I
need
do have,
those things.
I think if I grab my grab and go bag from in here, there's always mints, business cards, a ballpoint pen, hair
Sure.
ties, just stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
just that stuff. It's always going to be there. You just know that you always need that stuff for some reason or another. But, yeah.
Eric, do you have something for us?
You know what? Are we going around twice or just
Oh,
once?
we'll go
One
around as
and
many
done.
times as it takes to burn the clock out on this one.
Because I got two things that
Okay.
and where you originally brought up the mics,
Uh,
you know, I think, and I just recently, I was invited to a wedding and the DJ was bringing in these speakers with
mhm.
1/4 inch cords going to his PB amp,
Okay.
you know? And it's like, get with the times. You don't gotta carry that amp that's gonna give you a hernia, right? Every show. And you know what? Look, I'm not here to judge, but if it works for him, great. But we now have powered speakers, you know, which makes our job much easier, right? I mean,
Yeah, I
I
believe
I
so. Yeah.
remember that PB amp and I seen it. I went over and I looked at it. I'm like, that thing had to have been, you guys know, with the 2 meters on it, and that thing was at least 75, right? 80. Am I exaggerating, guys?
I
Or,
don't remember how much weight that one had. I do know that my Crown
yeah,
Macrotechs were probably about 70, 80 pounds.
the crowns, even, those were fantastic.
Well, the
But I think
Macrotechs.
I
Yeah,
think
the
the
big four
PBs
space
were,
PVs were heavy.
I couldn't even believe this guy still had one of these working.
Well, anytime you can take advantage of
Yeah,
technology to
yeah.
make your life easier is good, especially as you get older or if you have
Hmm.
any kind of physical problems. Anytime that you can make your life easier, I believe is a good thing. And I think it's a good investment too, because it keeps you on the road. I mean, as
So,
much as we want to complain about the price of things, I don't know.
yeah,
It's one of
yeah,
those things where it's like, okay, either you pay the price to do this or you don't do it at all. You make it so you can't work anymore. We live in a pretty cool time with technology and
yeah,
applied sciences where we can make things easier for us.
right,
And yeah, the
right.
powered speakers.
The gain of having an amp with a passive speaker is that you can put the speaker anywhere. You're not looking to run an extension cord to it. It can literally be
Yeah,
in the
You're
well,
in the
still
dead corner
gonna
in the glass windows where there's
I
no
do
get
outlet.
it.
that. I get
You
that.
know,
You know?
it had its benefits, but you still had to lug that boat anchor with you everywhere you went because
For what we
it's so
do,
heavy.
it probably doesn't make sense.
Right.
There are
No, not
applications where it
today.
probably
Right,
makes more
right.
sense,
Yeah.
but maybe not what we do today.
Yeah, right. So let's go around again.
Well, I haven't gone yet.
Because I got one more. Okay, well, Brian, you talk plenty. No, go ahead. I'm
I'm
kidding.
hosting and interjecting right
I love you. Go.
So I have done the unthinkable over the last, I think, probably 7 or 8 years. And because I have to make it easier, or I literally can't work. And I
Absolutely.
can't make things progressively harder. I have to make things progressively easier, especially the older I get. I have eliminated all tripods from my regular mobile stuff.
Mhm.
If I'm doing a big, huge event, yeah, I'm going to use some two-way tops. I'm going to use some tripods. But for the average wedding reception, I'm going column with the speakers, the compact arrays. So there's no tripod involved, nothing to set up, break down. Don't have to pick anything heavy up and set it on top of a tripod. And I have no light stands. I've eliminated the light stands completely. How do you ask? Well, I went to this really weird idea that I had about just creating wash with pars in an uplighting fashion. And I think it's worked out pretty well. I have ran into a few situations where it didn't work, and I actually have workarounds for that now with the neon tubes I'm using. There are a lot of tubes out there that a lot of manufacturers make. You can use those, and you can usually attach them to your table or something. You, I've just eliminated the tripods. It's made my life so much easier just to do that. And I feel like not only have I made it easier, but I've actually produced a better product with what I'm using now than what I did before. It looks nicer,
Yes.
and I think it's a better effect.
I've seen many of your videos where you've used, that lighting, and my God, what a difference it makes in your, yeah,
It's
it's,
easy.
yeah,
It's no, the stuff I'm using isn't a cheap date.
even the
I
tube
understand that.
lighting is beautiful.
And
Yeah,
the ones I
yeah.
use aren't cheap, but there are, let's just call them Kevin versions of them out there. Or Kevin would go out
Kevin,
and buy them.
yeah.
Because Kevin is the cheapest man alive. If you didn't know, I'm just telling you right now.
We love you, Kevin. Yeah, yeah.
I'm
So,
frugal, but I want to get a good bang for the buck.
oh yeah, everyone
Right,
does.
of course.
You don't want to spend money arbitrarily. You want to get something for it. Of
Yeah.
course you do. But there's stuff out there in nearly anybody's budget that they can step into. Stuff like this. Color Key makes things,
Yeah.
and several other companies make things that aren't the stuff I'm buying and using.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yep.
just
I
to
know all about
limit the
the
tripods.
uplights. Yeah, I know all about uplights that are more reasonably priced.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know that we're supposed
yeah.
to name some names, but I'll say there's one that starts with an R that is a popular brand, and another one that's DJ owns what starts with a B. I have never bought those, but I have bought several of the R's. So, but
Unless the event calls for, specific lighting that you have to start building truss and wiring things, if you can get away with less, and there are ways to do it. You don't have to build this full concert assembly for a 65 person wedding. To sell that to the client, unless they really want that club feel, you're creating an awful lot of work for yourself that you could
yeah.
probably escape. They're like, hey, we could just light up some of the doorways and we could just do something on a small, uh, gravity stand if you had to just throw something up in the air quick and get one of those 6-way, FX type lights just to get some bounce off wherever the bright surfaces are. But I think the days of us trying to make believe we're club DJs in Knights of Columbus Hall are over because it takes too long to build. You got to get there 3 hours
Right,
ahead. You got to
right,
wire
right.
everything. You got to test everything, and you can't. That's not just a remote control light show. Now you're in DMX, and now
yeah.
you're running all extra cables. That's before you even set the sound up. You spend an hour and a half just getting the light stuff right.
No, I'm not talking production. That's different.
No, that's different. If it's stage lighting and you need spotlights,
Right.
it's like that. That is what it is. It's a separate animal.
Of course. But for just the average wedding party, whatever, that's what I'm talking about. For my everyday applications when I'm out working. For the special
Right.
stuff, yeah, there's other things involved, but to just do it at every event, and I think the perception from some DJs, like I kind of mentioned before, thinking that it's the lazy way. It's not the lazy way. It's the smart way. I'm producing a better product than I was producing before.
Things smarter,
like this.
not harder.
More efficient too, because then you're going to think of your breakdown time when it's time to tear it down.
Absolutely.
And the box isn't gone. You know, you don't have to take, totems apart and everything else. I mean, without the haze that most places don't let you use, what a spotlight is just a dot on the wall. You don't get beams anymore unless you're in a club. And that's
the atmosphere thing's gone. No one smokes indoors anymore, so you even get that.
Right.
I mean, that was a thing. I don't know how much you guys remember about this, but you didn't need a fog machine half the time. Yeah. There was enough people smoking cigarettes in the room where you could have some atmosphere and see a beam of light going through the air.
Right. These days, if I take moving heads, they look better outside in the elements because there's particles in the air than they do in a building. Inside a building, it's just, shining out.
Right.
A spot on the wall.
At least you got mosquitoes or something you can reflect.
Something to reflect off. And mosquitoes are all confused. They don't know what's going on. You keep the bugs up at the lights where they're away from the people on the floor.
Yeah.
Another good tip is just not downgrade, but modernize the light show and make it manageable, that you're not killing yourself. Because you still got to tear it down, and usually most of us work alone, and I don't want to be there for 90 minutes at the end of the show putting everything back in rolling cases. It's
a lot of work.
No.
It's a whole bunch of work.
It's bad enough with the first to arrive and the last to leave, right? Usually at every gig, Why add time, But
I can usually I can get out of the building before all the guests are cleared. My stuff breaks down that fast now.
I don't like trying to walk through them. If I got to go that way to get to the exit, I'll have it all packed and ready to roll, but I'll sit out.
I'm not talking about a full house. I'm talking about I got some stragglers.
Yeah.
I've still got some groups here and there, 15, 20 people scattered about. No, not with a full house. No, I don't want to do that.
No, that's the same thing when they tell you it's time to start. Like, well, the guests will get here at 4. We're going to be hanging around till 5. We'd like you to come in and set up at 5 and run to 6. It's like, no. I want to be in before the people. I want to be in before anybody's in my way, having conversations and tripping over stuff. So it's just another thing you can do to make your life easier.
I remember when I first started doing mobiles with the company when I was a teenager, most wedding receptions were 8 to 12. It didn't mean that dinner wasn't happening. It just meant that you were loading in and setting up during it. So you were carrying these big speakers over your head to get around the tables and such.
Right. Try not to bump into the waiter who's bringing out a plate.
Yeah. What could possibly happen?
Yeah. I mean, what could go wrong?
Yeah.
What could go wrong? But we did it all the time.
Yeah.
And looking back, man, it's so much easier just to get in with an empty room and set up.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Especially now when we're in -5 temperatures, like, just come in through the back doors of the ballroom. Like, that's going to be open while people are sitting in their gowns and suits trying to eat. And it's like, ooh, why is it suddenly sub-zero?
Oh God!
Shut that door.
Yeah.
I went out to eat with some DJs on Saturday. We went to my hamburger place, Oscar's, and I got there. They had already picked the table right in front of the door.
Of course.
And there was one seat left on the table that was right in front of the door. And every time somebody came to that door, I cursed them because it was getting so cold. Oh man, it was bad. I left my coat on the whole time. It was so cold. Yeah. I was happy to see my friends, but I was really glad when it was over because I didn't have to be so cold anymore.
Right. And tell the venue, you really shouldn't have a table here. This is a really bad idea when it's -3. Yeah. It's not a good place to sit. This is not choice front row. This is not my idea of front row seating. This is not the VIP.
Yeah.
No. How are we doing on time there, timekeeper?
I think you need to wrap it up.
Yeah, we're just about there. We're at 24.
Yeah.
Well, then we're there. So our show tonight is sponsored by DJ Event Planner. Have a look at DJ Event Planner in the description of this video. Thank you, DJ Event Planner, for being one of our channel sponsors. Thank you, gentlemen, for sharing some tips tonight. And we will see you next time. Good night.